Zach, how has everything been going for you so far?
Oh, it's great. Really good start to camp. A lot of guys making a lot of plays, and it's just a start. So we're excited to keep setting days.
Yeah, it's easy to talk to guys coming out of the portal about why Kentucky, why this school. But was there a specific pitch, a specific message that led you to this place?
No, for me it was really just the opportunity, and I love Coach Hamden and his offense, and the pieces that are going to be put in front of me and the guys that we have. So just really excited for the opportunity.
Hamden talked today about physicality in the SEC, specifically saying he maybe made some mistakes running the quarterback a little too much early on last year. Have there been conversations already about what that role will look like for you in terms of staying healthy in the SEC?
Yeah, I think for me it's just got to be smart and aggressive. There's going to be times where I might have to put my shoulder down on a gotta-have-it situation, but also got to protect myself. It's a long season, with some really good, strong opponents. So got to stay healthy, but also got to win games.
Smart and aggressive. How do you do that?
I think it's a game by game and play by play mentality. So when we need it, we need it. When I got to get down, I got to get down.
2 veteran receivers left. Got some talent coming back. I know they're all new to you, but what's the receiver room look like?
Really good. A group of guys that came to work all summer. I sent a text, hey, we're gonna throw 5 p.m. on Sunday, and we got 12, 13, 14 guys out there. So really encouraging to see that, and then really good start to camp. Guys are hustling, running fast off the ball, making a lot of plays. So a lot to work on, but a lot to build off of as well.
You put up good numbers at your last stop, but you were an SEC quarterback once upon a time. How much of a help is that for you now? Being an SEC quarterback.
Yeah, I think the experience, was really good, and there was a lot that I could learn from then, at both stops. But I think just being in the SEC and having experience with, the speed of this game is different than, everywhere but the NFL. So I think it's the strongest conference in America, when it comes to speed and competition and strength of the guys. So just that experience and knowing how to handle it and prepare for it.
Stoops has talked a little bit about the benefit of having a guy like Bo in this room who's so mature, who's just been around so much, this program specifically. What can you learn from him specifically?
Oh, no, Bo's awesome. He's a guy that I can come talk to after, we get our rack of 4 or 5 plays, and I can come talk to him and ask him what he saw. And I think he's going to be a big tool for us, in the season. Just, personally somebody that I can come talk to on the sideline and, talk through certain plays, certain looks, what he likes and what he doesn't like. And just also kind of mentally, too, as he plays like a mentor role for, me and all the quarterbacks. So just having him, I think, is a huge strength and a huge tool for our quarterback room.
What does it say about the offense?
To everything, from the O-line. I think the O-line's made huge strides. All those guys do really well. They're the last to leave the building every night, and I think they take pride in what they do. And then everywhere from our running backs too, I think we're going to be able to run the ball really well, and that's going to open up a lot for, our receivers to go make plays down the field.
How have you seen yourself evolve since you first got here at Lexington?
I think just as a teammate, I came in, I wanted to be the best teammate I could be, and that allows me to, now that we're rolling into camp, take more of a leadership role, and, I bonded with a lot of the guys on the team and just make sure that we're all headed in the right direction.
Zach, do you feel like you've fully adjusted at this point to being here in Lexington now and being a part of this program?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
What makes it that way? How do you feel that comfort?
I think just like I was saying, the biggest thing for me is relationships with these guys. It's been a really quick, turnaround, a lot of new guys, a lot of new faces, but, just spending as much time in the locker room and with these guys as I can, just to make sure that, we get to the season and there's that trust built with everybody.
What are your thoughts on your receiving room this year? How do you like the guys that you've been, connecting with in practice?
Oh, I love it, man. Like I was telling them, it's a group of guys that was willing to work, and I think they all push each other to get a lot better. In the spring, there was a couple guys that stood out, from a sense of hustling every play, finishing every play, and it's brought the whole room along. So now we're out there and we got, 3, 4 guys running full speed, they're taking pride in their blocking assignments and just, moving forward.
Zach, will you talk about your relationship with Cutter Bowley and what that's been like?
Oh, it's awesome. I think that we have a really healthy quarterback room. Me, Cutter, and all those guys, I think we build off of each other. We laugh and joke when the time's right, but, when we're out there on the field, I think we build and we learn off each other's mistakes and off the good things that we do.
This isn't your first move to a different school, so as a quarterback, just what's it like to go in and try to become the leader? How do you try to take that role?
Right. I mean, it just starts with being a good teammate and building trust. If those guys can't trust me on the field, then we're a sinking ship. So I think that it starts with being a good teammate and showing up every day and being the same guy every day and making sure that I'm somebody that they can trust.
And the O-line is literally called the Big Blue Wall, but at least on paper, it seems like a bigger Big Blue Wall than we've seen here the last couple of years. Just just from a physical standpoint, what do you see out of some of those guys, and how can that help you?
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it starts with their mentality. Like I said, they take pride in everything that they do, from pass protection to run blocking. And, you know, Coach Bush says at every meeting, explosive start up front. So, you know, them taking pride in knowing any play can change the game and treating every play like that.
Zach, what has the rapport been like between you and the wide receivers so far?
I think it's all about building chemistry, you know, and that's what we're doing. You know, we put a lot of work in the spring and a lot of work in the summer, and now it's just time to go put it together.
How do you view this opportunity for you this year?
Oh, for me, it's an opportunity to be back in the SEC. You know, I know there's a lot of people that said I couldn't get it done, but that's why I came back.
Do you feel like you've got something to prove, and what do you want to prove?
Absolutely. I mean, it's more about proving it to myself. You know, 7 years ago when I started college, you know, I just wanted to be a guy that could go get it done, win games, win a championship, and, you know, being back here gives me that opportunity.
What do you think about this offense?
I love it. I love it. The coaches, the guys, everybody's taking pride in what they're doing every single day, and, you know, we call it suffering. In fall camp, we watched a video of the Tour de France guys, you know, and it's suffering. It's 4 hours a day of suffering, and that's what we got to do in camp, is suffer to get to where we want to be.
What's the off season like for you and Coach Hamden, and how do you guys kind of get on the same page going into a new season?
Just watching a lot of film and a lot of preparation. You know, what is he like? What do I like? What do we want to do? And what do we want our identity to be as an offense?
Has any of those sessions jumped out at you? Have you learned anything new about him or something that's impressed you?
Right. I mean, so every session we try to be productive. You know, every time we meet, and it's you know, we've put together a really good, you know, idea of who we want to be as an offense and how we're going to move forward.
What's the relationship like with you and Cutter, and then even Bo? He's been around here for a long time. He knows a ton of football.
Right. I think we have an awesome quarterback room. You know, all those relationships are strong. You know, I learn from guys and guys learn from me, and I think that's what you need in a quarterback room. I mean, you know, I've been part of teams where you need 1, 2, 3 quarterbacks in the season, and I think, you know, it's important for us, you know, just thinking about this team, everybody's got to be ready.
Do you want those guys? Do you like the fact that those guys can push you?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that, you know, if I was the only good quarterback on the team, there would be an issue, you know, here in the SEC. So I think it's awesome.
Thanks, Zach.
Yes, sir.